fucking meeting that the Pan Africans had, and that shit was weird as fuck. By the way, brother, they look sad as hell. They face was on the ground, brother. They just look desperate. But when you start to see these things right now, it just shows you, as I said previously, it's confirmation about the empowerment that we got going on. It's confirmation about the strength that we putting out here right now, and it's also confirmation that there's some white on white crime out in this motherfucker. Supremacy on supremacy crime. And anytime you see supremacy on supremacy crime, it's our job to sit the fuck back, pop some popcorn, and take advantage of that shit. And that's what I see my brothers and sisters are doing. Brother Marcel, my low country family, it's all on you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Alpha. Hello, everyone. I have to go real soon. I want to say one, like you and I discussed in the back channel, this Donald Trump facing charges of being arrested. First of all, let's be very clear. Donald Trump may not be a fan of Black Americans. He may very well be anti-Black American. And guess what? That's fine with me as long as we get tangibles from him. If we get specific policies from him, that's fine. Because the bastard we got in the White House right now is anti-Black American. But the difference is, unlike the bastard in the White House right now, Donald Trump did not write a crime bill that locked up a whole generation of Black Americans. Donald Trump in the 70s and 80s was not working with Ku Klux Klan members, literal Ku Klux Klan members, to keep Black kids out of school. There's not a statement from Donald Trump saying that if Black kids go to my children's schools, it will turn their school into a jungle. It's not Donald Trump who eulogized Strom Thurmond. And for those of you who don't know, Strom Thurmond was a U.S. congressman, but he was a disgusting, notorious segregationist and anti-Black American bigot. He's on record for having the longest filibuster just because he thought that certain legislation was going to help Black Americans. That's slow Joe Crow Biden. And right now, we got slow Joe Crow Biden wife. She is so inherently anti-Black American, like her husband, as far as I'm concerned, that these Black girls from Louisiana State University just ripped the pants off of that majority white girl basketball team, and she can't even bring herself to want to just give the Black girls their sign. So she's now trying to invite the runner-ups, which is something that is not traditionally done at all. So we gonna put up with anti-Black American hate from these bastards either way until one of us runs for office who's not anti-Black American and on a platform that's specifically for us. But out of the two that I just mentioned, Donald Trump and so Joe Crow Biden, Donald Trump is the only one that actually came out with some sort of Black agenda specifically for us. Now, Slow Joe Crow Biden actually got in office with his Lift Every Voice platform that was supposed to be his Black agenda. That punk hasn't mentioned that since being in office. And matter of fact, after he got in, before he even got officially in office, he met with some of these older Black people. I ain't calling them no Black leaders. And he told them that they better just get used to working with the Hispanics, and the Hispanics are the future. And I'm not even mad at the slow Joe Crow Biden. I already knew you were nothing but a disgusting buzzard-faced snake. But so I'm not mad at the buzzard snake face for showing that's what they are. But those older Blacks sat right there and let him say that and offered him no pushback. At least Donald Trump was deporting the hell out of these illegals. Donald Trump was treating these illegals like the invaders they are. Donald Trump was even thinking about rescinding birthright citizenship so that the illegals came here and try to have an anchor baby, they will get deported back, and their child, who is their responsibility, will get deported back with them. We all see how illegal immigration hurts us. And let's be very clear. Y'all seen those videos of me going to my town council in my town. These are white Republicans, deep South white Republicans. Look how uncomfortable they are when I bring up how these illegals need to be deported. Look how uncomfortable they are when I ask them what are they going to do to protect my town and make sure the very, very, very limited resources of my town goes to actual Americans. You know why they get uncomfortable? Because they are in on it too. We've absorbed this mentality that somehow the Democrats are for illegal immigration and Republicans are against it. No, the truth of the matter is there are Democrats who are for illegal immigration, but there are some Democrats who are actually against it. Just likewise, there are some Republicans who love illegal immigration. They may not want them to have the right to vote because they even realize how treasonous that is, but they are for the illegals replacing us. Like I said to my town council, cheap labor is cheap labor. So a lot of them don't want Donald Trump in office because that would mean they will actually have to hire Americans. And if they hire Americans, they will have to pay Americans more. And a lot of the jobs that these illegals do are jobs that Black Americans in fields where Black Americans dominating, from lawn maintenance to roofing, electrical work, flooring, carpentry, construction, you name it. So they are doing the same thing to us that they did with the Irish, importing the Irish in so they can replace us after slavery. So they don't want Donald Trump in office because they know he has been steadfast. You can say what you want to say about the man, but he's been very consistent with a few things. And one of his most consistent stances is deporting the hell out of these illegals. And I'm here for it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and promote Donald Trump like he's been a pro-Black American candidate, but I can tell you what I can say. He's been the least anti-Black American candidate. We already had one of the most anti-Black American presidents in the White House in our modern era since the fall of Jim Crow and redlining on paper. And no, I'm not talking about Lyndon B. Johnson. I'm not talking about Nixon. I'm talking about Barack Obama, who was one of the most anti-Black American presidents to put in there. He said some despicable things to us that if a white president had said it, even I'm sure some white people would have said that is disgustingly anti-Black. But Obama will go to HBCU graduations and pretty much accuse these young men who didn't even have children, the majority of them, of being deadbeat dads and sagging their pants. He said that the government doesn't work that way when a white reporter asked him, don't you owe Black American community something special, being that they're the reason for your success? And he said it didn't work that way. And yet, just months and weeks later, he's doing specific things for other groups like the Jewish community, Jew, and like the Native American community, the LGBTQ community. So my thing is, okay, even if Donald Trump is anti-Black American, when Ice Cube said, who wants to work with me and do a Black agenda? He asked Slow Joe Crowbine, he asked Donald Trump. It was Donald Trump who responded, and his team met with Ice Cube right away and actually came up with something. So if I had to choose between Slow Joe Crowbine and Donald Trump, my money will be on Donald Trump. And guess what? Like you already mentioned, Alpha, they realize a lot of Black Americans and more Black Americans are starting to think that way. So this is their way of trying to get him out of the paint and make him a non-factor in the presidential election. But they really just did the best thing for him. Now they're going to make him a martyr, and now people are going to rally around him. I just read an article saying, y'all have to correct me on the numbers, but I heard that in the past 4 days he's raised 14 or 40 million dollars or something like that. They are dumb as hell. If they didn't learn when they killed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the quickest way to activate a base that was probably previously not active or previously asleep is to give them a martyr. And that's exactly what they're doing with Donald Trump. And you're damn right. It's all about them trying to keep these illegals here. And don't think, y'all, we underestimate, and I see Lil Niggas wants to speak, and she knows better than I do because she just spoke about some behind the scene things. Don't think that they don't think deeply about these things. They know that some Black Americans realize that Donald Trump might actually offer us something, that we can probably work with him. Don't think they don't realize that too. And don't think that ultimately this is not about them realizing we don't want to give these Negroes any options. So let's try to get a DeSantis in there who's definitely not going to do anything for the Negroes, or Slow Joe Crow Biden, who has never done anything for the Negroes besides terrorize them.
I agree. I totally agree, Marcel, because it was like what you just said, and that's good observation too. Because if you notice, they are low key kind of pulling back the punches on Ron DeSantis to make sure Donald Trump gets the brunt of it. You understand what I'm saying? So they're playing a lot of political poker right now. So yeah, absolutely, brother. Thank you, Marcel. Fire as always. If you don't want to